Welcome to Rugby, and once again here on Free Sports, we've got a great show for you lined up, even with the croaky voice from Magic Weekend. Jamie Jones-Buchanan's back here after a little bit of a disappointing weekend, and the Jerry Maguire of Rugby League, Craig Harrison, the man behind all the transfers, all the rumours, is here. Super agent Craig, thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries, great to be here. First time being here, so fantastic. Look forward to it.
Do you like the studio? It's come a long way, mate.
Yeah, it has. I couldn't be saying about where it would have before, but yeah, brilliant, fantastic, yeah.
Craig, tell us about your journey into Rugby League, because how did you get into? Where did Show Me the Money come from?
Jones, I don't know if you remember. I was actually a corporate sponsor at Leeds. I had a business and I was on the Leeds golf day. I think I've said a few times, and went round, met a young lad called Danny Maguire who was, I think maybe 18. We'd done the 18, had 17 beer and fags, you know, as you do, Mars bars, and he came back and said, I sent him again, and he said, oh, you know, hey, you got a bit of patter about you, I could do with an agent. And I'm like, what, Jerry Maguire agent? You know, I had a bit of a laugh, and I said, no, I'm too busy, I've got that much on. And a year later, he was sat at the bottom of the stairs again and said, you've got me again. I thought, right, there's something in this kid, I don't know what it was. And we went round, and then by 16th, he'd convinced me to take him on. So I did a bit of research and said, bring your family, let's meet. I didn't realise he'd got 68 uncles and dads, and, you know, it was like feeding 5,000. But the Maguires came in, the numbers, to my house, and then, what a lovely kid. As soon as I know what a lovely kid, it was easy from then. Then, I actually took laugh because I did a bit of research on rugby. My days in rugby were watching, I was a footballer, so mine were where I was watching Ellery and that era, Martin Offiah and Edwards. And I can remember thinking, I'll just have a little look at this lad, and I went to watch him, and I think he got about 5 tries in one of the academies, and I was like, I think I've just signed Wayne Rooney on my first deal. It was just like, I was like, wow. The journey then has been 12 years, I think, now, that, so.
Agents have a bit of a perception about them, either heroes or villains, depending on who's asking the question. You know, what have you found in your journey as to the perception of agents? Because they are quite few and far between, if I'm honest, in Rugby League. Obviously, you're a well-known one, but there aren't too many of them.
When I first did it, I Googled agents, and nothing came up. So I was thinking, my idea of an agent was Eric Orr from football with cigar and sheepskin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was thinking, you've got it. So I'm thinking that type of perception. Met a few along the journey, but never really see what the job was. Was it that you go out and develop a lad? How much involvement do you get in developing that? My answer will only be when mine finished. Danny and then might write books and say what influence you have had together. Yeah. So that will only come at end. Yeah. We're still on that journey. But I didn't see a lot of them on side at pitches. I didn't see a lot of them being passionate. I didn't see a lot of them, you know, we do all sorts. So that again, sometimes it's hard for us to talk about, because coaches, you shouldn't be telling them that, you know, you've got to be very careful politically how we do it. I'm in the middle of building an individual skill centre for rugby at my house. And if I pull it off, it'll take me 2 years. But I'll show it what I've been doing for a lot of years. But it'll come out now, we'll do it in the open. And I'll mention the players we've done it, and then we'll say what really happens. In my opinion, what I'd love to see, I just believe that individual coaching is the way forward.
Oh, 100%. Danny Maguire's mentioned that, actually, in the past, I think, yeah, really bespoke coaching. But you've got a passion for Rugby League, though. So financially, I mean, it's none of my business whether it's worthwhile financially, but is it worthwhile in Rugby League? And how much of it do you reckon is just because you're a Rugby League fan and you want to see it best at sport?
Just hold that thought, because we've got loads to get through, and we'll ask him this straight after we go and see a man who scored a great try this weekend, and apparently they practice it all the time, and that's Hull's Scott Taylor. This is Scott Taylor's Getting to Know You.
In the Rugby League, well, growing up, I'd definitely say my idol was Adrian Morley. Growing up, seeing him killing it over in Australia. I reckon I would have stayed in sports somehow, maybe a PE teacher, something like that. Yeah, full of football, and unfortunately I'm an Hull City fan. Not great times at the minute, obviously looking at probably getting relegated to League One at the minute, so it's not great at the minute, but hopefully we can try and stay up this year. favourite food? It'd have to be a good pizza, really good pizza. First car was a Fiat Punto, a black Fiat Punto, and I used to call it Jalapeno. Best moment on a rugby pitch, I'd say winning the Challenge Cup in 2016 with Hull FC. Probably losing the semi-final against Leeds last year of the playoffs. My favourite film is Remember the Titans, I'd say. Denzel Washington at his best, and it's a film that I watch when obviously I'm ever feeling a bit down. I watch that and I love it. I love my Oasis, so probably one of those, but maybe cigarettes and alcohol, something like that. It'd probably be probably me, the captain Danny Houghton or Danny Washbrook. Obviously us three travelled together and we're really close, good mates. Superhero, I'd have to go with Batman. But the Christian Bale Batman films, I think that was outstanding. Best gig would be Oasis. The last time I was doing the rounds, I saw them in Sheffield and Manchester, but I was right near the front, stood up in Sheffield when they performed there, so Oasis there, ripping out the songs was a good experience. The Royal Family, easy. TV show, yeah, Rugby AM. If we want Rugby AM, then it'd be the Royal Family. I know all the episodes off by heart and I love it. Daniel Washbrook somewhere. I went to Mexico last year and that was a really good holiday with my partner, so I'd probably say Mexico. It'd have to be Adrian Morley or Jamie Peacock. Like I said, took me hours going up and spending 8 weeks in Australia with Jamie Peacock just showed what a legend the guy is and what a privilege it is to be a part of something of him. Good restaurant in Hull. If you're looking to spend a bit of cash, I'd say get to the Westwood.
Get to the Lodge. The Lodge.
Yeah. I'd get to the Westwood in Beverley for an expensive one, but if you want a really good value to the money, this man next to me owns a place in Hull called the Lodge, so I'll get there.
And I think there's a 10% discount off in Jackson.
I've literally looked at the menu the other day and he's charging 75p for scraps with your fish and chips.
10% off it, 72.
75p for scraps. Have you ever heard anything like it?
Radda's getting stuck into tag there, and Jake Connor saying he meant to hit the crossbar. Not sure about Jonesy.
I'm not sure. That is some skill. If it's that bespoke, it might have been training at one of the centres that Craig's trying to develop, which I think is a fantastic idea. But just going back to that, your passion for rugby league, is that the main instigator as to why you've gone on this agent journey?
I was very lucky. I'd worked hard from being a kid. I'd sold a business when I was 37, so the money wasn't the deciding factor. If that had been different, I wouldn't have lasted. Because to build a booking of players, to get some money coming back in, it takes you 6 years because you've got to wait, and they only earn 10 grand, Jones, what they earn, and then it takes to what they call stage 3, 30, 40 grand. So if you're on 5% of, that's why I don't charge kids under 20, because why would you take 5% of 6 grand or 8 grand? It'd be immoral for me, but you've got to have a passion for it. You couldn't last as an agent if you ain't got the passion. I can't see you saying, oh, this is purely business. You wouldn't be in it. You'd have to be a lunatic not to pick football or basketball.
Is any of your boys gone obviously in NRL yet?
I'd sent Zach to Penrith, but we and Gary did that together. I'm very passionate about our game. I sent Jordan Baldwinson and Mason Tonks as kids to New Zealand. I probably learnt a lesson on that. do you have to be mature enough and maybe have that reputation to get the big money? Of course you do, of course you do. And we had many offers for Danny along the year. They've all had offers and a lot of chances. If we keep selling our best products and taking their worst, we're gone. You know, they can sell what they want. I'll have this argument with anybody. They can have it. Any business in the world that best products leave, you're taking the other business's worst products. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah.
Tell me a business in the world that can work on that consumption. How can it be?
It seems you've done a fantastic job for so many players, but Jones, you've never had an agent.
No.
Why is that?
I suppose the perception is that you want to go somewhere else, or you're not happy with what you're doing, or you want to broaden your horizons. But I signed for my dream club at 15 years old and never wanted to go anywhere. And I guess there's been deals that have always sort of incrementally increased as your career progresses. And then if it starts to get old, it comes down to the other side of the ladder as well, as Gary calls it. But that's the thing we all know, career with Gary Hetherington. He's got a very stiff, what would you call it? The structure that he used to call the pie, whatever metaphor you want to use. And we've all got a piece of the pie. And if you want this piece of your pie and you want to give 5 or 10% of it to your agent, then go for it. Or you can just have it yourself.
He actually says that in front of you. So he'll say, the player will be there and he'll say, well, if you want it, I'm not going to give you no more. Yeah. And he stood next to you, but luckily, I'm not saying luckily, my lads all know the score. We go in there prepared for what comes out. We've gone at it with Gary for 12 years. I've had more deals at Leeds than... So I know the script, I know what happens. Great club, by the way. Gary's very straight. No one can ever say he's not straight. He's tighter than cramp, but he's not. You know, he's dead on.
Outstanding. Some players who are here on a bit of a journey, the New Zealand Kiwi students have come over with legend Tira Party. They're taking on England in a 2-test series, but first they played the all-conquering Leeds Beckett team run by Paul Fletcher, will be coaching the Yorkshire Origin legends. Let's go over now, down to Henley, down to the Archie Gordon and meet the boys.
I want you every day, oh, I want you every day,
You're the most successful coach in student rugby league history. Mate, more titles than anyone, but the last couple of years, ain't gone your way in the big one. This year you want to get the win back, don't you? You've gone again, Fletch. You keep saying every year's your last year, but you're not going to finish undefeated.
No, definitely. I mean, the boys have been fantastic this year, and to only lose the one game, which was the grand final, or obviously tear-jerking, but we've had a fantastic season.
Mate, it's such a great experience and opportunity today to play against these Kiwi boys. How did it all come about?
A random phone call off Kim Mountford about 9 months ago. Was the embryonic stage, and it just, avalanched from there.
The man just said it better than I could. It's a repartee-a-thon here. Tia, the legend of St Helens. Firstly, you're back in England and you are a legend around these parts. You must be enjoying the current success Saints is having.
I mean, they're going extremely well. It's good and it's nice to be back here. It's always a good crack being here. Everyone loves their league, this part of the world, and it's nice being around it.
Tell us a little bit about why you're here, because New Zealand Rugby League isn't in the best states at the moment, and you guys missed out on the World Cup for the students, and you've come with your son George, who's here today. Your nephews are behind us playing as well, and you've come representing New Zealand students.
Yeah, well, I way back in 1986 I played for the New Zealand University's side as well. We played in the first World Cup they ever had in New Zealand. We managed to clean up the English guys at that time, but hopefully we'll repeat it. But it's been going through a tough time in that, so we decided, a group of us, to get the New Zealand University side up and running, and here we are. So it's nice to be here.
It's a great opportunity to play fellow students from across the world and test how good their rugby league standard is across in New Zealand, which we're sure, with a rich history in New Zealand rugby, it's going to be pretty intense, pretty tough, and I, for one, can't wait to see it. And how does it feel to play in it and get an opportunity?
I can't wait, personally. I mean, I'm on the bench today, but
yeah,
I'm going to be revving to come on when I get the chance, so it should be a good game.
Oh, this is my going on 3rd year in the squad now. I made it first time back in 2015 and played again in 2016 when the Aussies come to New Zealand. And then when this tour came up, I think, I just got it, mate, by default almost, due to my sort of long term in the team.
George, your dad's a bit of a legend around these parts. Any pressure? You feeling any pressure over here?
No, I try not to, just try to come here and do my job the best I can, but, see how we go.
Would you like to follow in his footsteps and play over here one day?
Yeah, well, absolutely, if it worked out that way, that'd be cool, but for now I'm just going to focus on today and see how it goes. And like I said, do my job as best I can.
It's going to be a real test for you guys. What are you expecting from these guys?
Well, obviously looking at them, they're always going to be a big side, and we've decided that they want to do 4 quarters, so we're not going to tire them out, are we? So we need to be a little bit skillful and play quick.
I had the pleasure of visiting the academy where Leslie Vanacola is a teacher, principal of rugby, and the talent blew me away. You must be pretty proud to get selected for this tour because there's so much talent over there.
Yeah, definitely, it's a massive honour. So I think everyone in the squad's pretty blown away and happy to be selected. So yeah, it's cool.
The boys definitely getting a case of cabin fever. We've been here about three days now, and mate, I don't think a lot of us have left the hotel. The boys are just recovering from jet lag, and yeah, they're itching, man. They're itching to get out today.
In typical Kiwi style, you've got some very, very big boys. Your back row is as big as me, if not bigger.
I know, we left the real big ones behind. They were overweight. They're carrying a little bit too much. They were only 120 kgs. So you know, but yeah, we've got some big lads in that, you know. But these fellas they're all really learning, and we're in a development rebuilding stage. So it's good to get a couple of them on board, and that they can play a little bit. But I get the feeling they're going to be getting some lessons as well today.
Outstanding. That first 20 minutes were really tough, but our defence held strong, and then obviously maybe jet lag kicked in a little bit, but take nothing away from this side, it's one hell of a side.
Just from today's game, yeah, definitely a bit of cobwebs. Like, we only got off the plane Sunday afternoon, and this is our first head out. We've had about 4 trainings leading up to it, but I'm really stoked with the boys. We had our first line up there in the first 15 minutes, and I think it was 0-0. and then we started making changes, and that's kind of where the cobwebs starting to go in. And but we've got 3 more days, and if we can do that in 3 days' time, look out England.
Well, we obviously knew they were going to bring a lot of aggression, and I think that's their first, maybe second game together. So maybe it's their first time in a New Zealand shirt as well. So that's obviously a big deal for them. So they're going to be aggressive, they're going to be passionate. So all we come here today was to try and match it, and then we did that, and then we just played rugby off the back of it. So.
Well, let's look back across 3 fixtures that happened this weekend at Magic, and we'll start with Toronto to lose 43-30, cementing their place at the top of the championship. And also speaking to the fans, Salford fans, Huddersfield fans were actually quite positive about the performances and the style of play. But Salford fans, Hull KR fans, really genuinely worried about the potential of one, definitely, but probably 2 teams coming up this year. Do you see that, Jonesy?
No, if I'm honest with you. I've said it. I think I said it a few weeks ago. I think you underestimate the Super League sides, and the stick is a bigger motivator than the carrot. So when you're in that middle eights and you've got that stick right up your backside, and I've been there before, you play a lot different. And I think we saw with Toronto, who probably are the best of them, against Warrington, who are a very good side, by the way.
Say that.
No, listen, the second half, they've not only beaten by that score, but they've run up a ridiculous score in that back end. I know. Well, the reason why they have a 10 men is because they try to manifest a game in a certain way, because that was the only way they was ever going to win it. And be credit to them, it worked for 40 minutes, and then it all just collapsed. I might be wrong, prove me wrong. Proof's always in proverbial pudding, Timo. Yeah. I'm just saying that I don't think 2 will come up at very best. It'll be 1 if 1.
Huddersfield 25, Wakefield 22. Wakefield potentially, I've got to look over the shoulder. If you look at the league table, with Huddersfield and Catalan winning, that 6th, 7th and 8th spot is a bit under threat now.
I spoke to Bish just as I come into the studio. I said, "Hey, he started to nip a bit, and he's like, no, everything's good. We just got to get back to rolling them, and then we play a bit on back of that." I think it will come, and that must be looking over your shoulder if your nerves start to play a part. Probably the next 3 or 4 weeks, it might get a bit nippy where you're thinking, "Oof, we could be 2 games from away," and then, I think the others have gotten a bit of a roll, haven't they? Yeah. You announce a new coach, you know what happens. Everybody knows in game. New coach is coming, he's looking at all videos, he's giving feedback. Chris Thorman's doing a brilliant job. What I like about him is when he's tweeting passionately about, look how many debuts. I'm like, come on, he's giving it some. So Huddersfield are a little bit of a roll without playing that well, in my opinion.
Last game to mention, the Hull derby, bringing Yemo out of retirement. And are you involved with Harris, the young kid? Is that what?
No, Liam, good kid.
Yeah, great. He played so well at York last year. I watched him last year at York and I thought, he can play, this kid. And he was okay, and there was some kind of wrangling over money and something, and I think Andrew Pace, that's it, was by him. Yeah. And they bought him and he played and he had a great game.
Yeah. I watched him at York, same. My good friend of mine, Ford's coach there, he's fantastic, so he can improve him as well.
To play you out this part, check out the Leeds Rhinos Watt Bike. We go down there, Jack Ormonroyd. He's a big thing, he's a fit thing.
He's awesome, man.
It goes all right. Check this out. We'll see you in part 2 for more Rugby AM here on Free Sports. Keep it locked.
3, 2, 1, jump!